Hi, I'm Madi Hockaday, also known as the Anne of this relationship.
And I'm Holly Constant, the Leslie.
We love Parks and Rec. We love behind the scenes.
And we love each other. This is literally the best Parks and Recreation rewatch show.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Park Pals.
Welcome. Today we have an amazing treat for you all. Today we talk to the incredible Andy Forrest, who plays Kyle on the television program Parks and Recreation. And
So formal.
I don't know where that came from.
I love it. Channel it and keep doing
it. We had a delightful time talking to Kyle.
Oh my gosh,
/
yeah.
Andy.
What a great dude.
What a great dude.
He's so cool.
Soup's cash, soup's fun, and I thought that our jokes were funny. I love that he played along with me as I made jokes as well, and you made jokes too, so it was super relaxed, I feel. I love talking to him about all his little details. There are some really awesome details, and they seem so minuscule, but to us super fans, it just makes such a difference to go back and watch it and understand where that character is coming from. It's so cool.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And he made us feel like I felt so comfortable. I felt like if I messed up any words or anything, he would make a joke about it and it would be, something we just get past and not
not awkward,
uptight and oh my gosh, I better not mess up.
Yeah. And I love talking about how he came to Parks and Rec and kind of his whole, journey beforehand, which was really interesting to me. But yeah, we're just so grateful that he shared his time with us and was able to come on. And definitely, it sounded like he would be very receptive to either coming back on or asking further questions. Because, the man is in 16 episodes, as we mentioned, or maybe it was more, but no, I think it was 16 on iMDb is what I counted. And so I am very interested in talking to him or getting voice memos about his certain scenes. Because when you go back and watch, his scenes are only maybe 5 minutes, if that. But it's so fascinating to talk to someone who's been in that many episodes, and I think you made a really good point about the whole witnessing Andy and April's relationship too.
Yeah. Well, and I think the fact of the matter is that he was only in this many minutes, right, of all the of all of his scenes put together. But he made such an impact that everybody knows who we're talking about when we say Kyle, the guy that gets his shoes shined by Andy, right?
That guy.
He plays a big enough role.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Very cool.
Love that. One of the things that I didn't really ask him, it doesn't matter at all, but I am interested about his wardrobe for the show. I think it was pretty standard in the sense where it was just a random tweed jacket because he wears pretty much the same thing every episode.
Well, I think he hit the nail on the head when he was I think I look like an accountant. That checks out with me with the suits he was wearing.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys for listening. And Maddie, do you have anything else that you want to mention?
No, just enjoy and have fun because he was a cool guest to have, and put the love out there for him and the things that he tells us about, and put the love out to him so that he hopefully comes and reviews an episode with us.
Yeah. I linked all of his things that he talked about in the show notes. So please all those things. I'm also going to link his website and his IMDb and all that good stuff if you want to take a look further at what he does. But yeah, thank you so much. Also, don't get confused. His name is Andy and there's a character named Andy. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
There are two Andys. But yeah, we thank Andy Forrest so much. And maybe he has an in with Chris Pratt. I didn't ask that. I should have.
We never know, right? We never know.
Yeah. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, without further ado, please welcome to Park Pals, Andy Forrest.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
This is just audio, right?
Yeah, just audio.
Okay.
Just audio. They're not going to... I might post a picture or a video, but only with your... I always send it to the people beforehand.
It's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to know because, in case, I
We're actually broadcasting live to 5 different countries right now.
What? Are any of them America?
No, not a single one.
I guess American continent. What do I know? Okay.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for being here, Andy. We really appreciate it. Thank you for
I'm
working
happy to
with
be
our
here.
schedules and everything.
So tell me, where are you guys broadcasting from? What city are you in?
I'm in Nashville.
And I'm in Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, wow. How did you two get
Yeah.
together? That's very...
College.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're pretty impressed with ourselves. Well, I'm impressed with us because we lived together for 1 year in Boston in college, and then we haven't lived in the same city for 8 years, but we're still best friends.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. Do I sound all right? Is that sound okay and everything?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
Awesome. How was your day so
Did I
far?
sound better?
going?
Does my voice need to be deeper? A little louder.
Yes.
He's a podcast voice.
Yes, turn on the podcast voice or the NPR voice, if you will.
Remember to subscribe to your station today. Be an NPR listener. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. And donate via Patreon. I'm just kidding. I don't have that set up yet, but but anyways, well, how's your day going so far, Andy?
So far so good. Yeah. Just,
Are you in LA?
I am in LA. I live in an area of LA called Echo Park,
Okay, cool.
which is where the original studios of Charlie Chaplin were. In fact, just down the street, they actually have one of the original buildings, but it's been turned into a, what do you call it? A storage facility, basically. But there's, there's a plaque there for it, and this is where, but Echo Park's been around for it's been around for a long time, but the lake has been here for over 100 years now. And they have it's famous for their water flowers, Japanese water flowers. What are they called? Water lilies?
Oh, yeah, water lily, sure.
I think that's what it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a nice area. I just lucked out. A friend of mine moved out of an apartment, and I got it when she bought a house. And so I've been here for about 20 years, and I've lived in many places in Los Angeles since I've been here, but I've been here for about 10 years now.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Love that. Well, okay, so the first question, as you probably heard, I'm sure, from listening to April, / if our listener knows exactly what I'm going to ask you. But basically...
Wait, are we started? Have we started already?
Yeah, we're just hanging out, man.
I don't know. Tell me when
You're trying to make it as chill and natural as possible.
Now my nervousness goes up. No, I'm kidding.
No, there's no action. There's nothing. We're just having a conversation. Okay. Soup's cash. But no, so obviously this is about Parks and Rec. So I kind of want to just know, and we want to know, how you first got your audition for Parks and Rec and how you first got started to be on the show.
Well, the character of Kyle was originally just supposed to be a one-off, like many of the secondary characters on the show. And I went.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I went in and auditioned for this role, and it's very I do deadpan pretty well. I'm very understated, and so they liked me for it, and they brought me in. And then I think it was like 2 weeks later, they said, "Hey, we've got another bit at the shoe shine stand, but you won't have any lines." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm happy to do it." And then after that, they started bringing me back and give me lines, and I think I did like 17 or 18 episodes altogether. So, so it was just something that turned into something. So
yeah,
and largely, I did audition for the part, and I think largely though the reason that the character, yes, I'm amazing, but I think largely the reason that the character really took off is because of Chris Pratt. He was so giving in the improv and when we were doing the scene, and I don't mean necessarily like on the show, like they talk about like whether things scripted or improv. It's like everything on the show is scripted. Sometimes at the end they'll let you do what's called a fun run where you'll just go off script a little bit, but like he's just very, he improvises in other ways, like not just verbally, but like with his actions and things and attitude and intention. He's a very good actor. Very good actor.
Yeah, totally. And he's such a killer at improv. It's so amazing to hear and see all of the different things that not only people say about, but like watching the bloopers or deleted scenes or things like that and knowing that he just kind of made that up. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, was that your first time improving? Was with Chris Pratt? In that role?
No. I've been with several. I've done improv since college, and the most recent improv, which it was a place called the Hot House, which was very what's the word I'm looking for? A naturalistic type of improv, where it was very, very based on movement and stuff. It was just very free, and I love that. It was a lot of fun. We did that for a number of years, and it doesn't exist any longer. But I studied improv at other places too, like Groundlings and LA Connection and other places. And in the last few years, a lot of people I knew from my original improv group, or people from that improv, we did a sketch comedy show called Still Watching, and you can watch it at stillwatching.us is the link to it, I think. But we did about 2 years worth of sketches on there. So keep busy.
Wow.
Was Hot House in college, or was that when you moved to LA?
No, here. I did improv. I did improv in college. I went to a school called Heidelberg College in Tiffin, Ohio, and we did improv. And so we found that like the only thing we had in the theater to play with were chairs. We had all these different chairs for some reason. I don't know why, but we basically called ourselves like chair-based improv. And and the name,
a chair can be anything on stage.
The name of our group ended up being the Bentwood Rockers.
Okay.
Nice.
That's going way back. Way back.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was the first improv that you took in LA?
It was the LA Connection. I came here and somebody told me about it, and I went there, and then I did that for a number of years, and then I went from there to Groundlings, and I did a little bit of stuff at Second City and Improv Olympics, and then so I did a lot of them. So and then eventually I even got to do some classes at the newest one, which is oh my God, it's Amy Poley's group. I'm drawing blank on the blank name. UCB. Thank you. Oh my God.
I know. Well, I find that pretty much not everybody, but most people, I feel, especially on Parks and Rec and The Office, have all done improv at least at some point or another in LA or in college or sometime. So
improv's very freeing for an actor, especially when when you're doing comedy, but even dramatic improv helps actors a lot. And most actors, even if they haven't been part of an improv group, will eventually do improv within classes. I mean, most classes have a good chunk of improv within them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and in LA, I feel like if you've got an agent, especially, but even just, in general, I feel like actors are told, like, you need to be in improv, like, to not be so in your head and be able to do the things that you do on a show like Parks and Rec, or like commercials when they look for buttons at the end, and like if you have a blank face at the end of a line, they're like, could you think about something maybe? But so for Parks and Rec, was this audition, like, do you remember your initial audition? Like, did you have sides? What were you reading? I know I'm going back 100,000 years, but
yeah, it was long, but yeah, there were definitely sides. And the sides may have changed between the audition and when I went in. I don't think they did though. I think that was pretty much what happened. What was scripted there. Yeah, it was a very short scene, so there wasn't much to it. It's
right. Yeah. I was going through kind of like a highlight reel of all the episodes that you were in, and I've got two of my favorite, and then I'll let Madi say maybe some of hers if she's got any, but
I've got one in my head.
The first
one. What if they're the same? What if you both picked the same one?
I know!
It would probably.
Not a surprise.
Okay.
Would not be surprising. We do this segment on the show called Our Favorite Line, and so we go through the episode.
Is there a theme song with it? Our favorite line.
Oh my God, I should
have. Now there is.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Our favorite line. Oh my! We nailed it. First time through.
I didn't try.
I love it so much.
Oh my God, I will 100% use that. But no, so like. We always have, I feel like, I don't know, at least 6 times, 7 times out of over half of the time we have the same favorite line in each episode, which is hilarious.
So we got to use our backup.
Yeah.
We'll always have a backup.
I can almost,
exactly.
If it's not my line, I can almost guess what it is, but okay.
Right. Well, so I always have, so I was looking through all the episodes, and one of the ones that I saw today was the one where Andy is, polishing the chair and then you sit on it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, did you happen to have a big stain on your ass before you sat down? And he's like, he looks at the camera and you think he's going to like own up to it. And he's just like, nope, you're good.
Yeah.
Because you see this giant stain. And so I'm kind of wondering how that shooting went and like if you've got any memory of filming that.
Oh, yeah. Because I think Amy walks up right after that and says something too. But
oh, yeah. She comes in before and she's like, aren't people going to get that on their pants?
Right. You're right. It is before. I remembered it wrong.
Oh, no. I'm just a freak and know all of the lines and scenes. So.
I don't know. It was pretty straightforward. Like I come in down and of course after the first time it's already on the pants and like if you do it again you're basically you've already got it on there. So we probably did it
right.
But they move pretty quickly. So.
But it wasn't like so. Okay, I know this is like probably a dumb question, but like,
I only answer questions.
Okay.
If this question is too smart, I'll have to refer it to someone else. So.
I actually love that rule. If it's too intelligent, I'm not answering.
What's the thing I was thinking of the other day? It was like I'm like, that's a really great question, or is it?
Or is it? You never know until you hear
That's my
it.
only response. Like, if you ask me a question, I'll say, like, that's a really great question. Or is it? Go ahead, try it. Go ahead.
Okay, here I go. Here, are you ready? Yeah. So I'm wondering if the paint was on your pants before you sat down. Was that a movie trick, or did it just get on your pants as the paint was on the chair?
That is a really great question. Or is it? Like I said,
podcast over.
I'm pretty sure it was on the seat first, and then the first time I sat down there, and then I think they might have applied a little bit more for camera purposes. But honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But what a great question.
Thank you. Is it though? No. Yeah, I always wonder about those little movie
just
magic
the
ones.
right level of not too intelligent, but intelligent enough. So.
I think that should be my tagline. Yeah. Not too intelligent.
Well, you went to Boston College, right? Wait, which Boston?
Berkeley. We went to Berkeley.
I've heard of that.
So, yeah, super fun. But the other favorite
That's all. Yeah, some subtext to it. Yeah, super fun.
No, I'm saying super fun because
like
honestly,
reliving Nam or something. Yeah, super fun.
Oh no.
No, I was just thinking of us doing our sting of our favorite line and how it could have been better from a Berkeley person.
I know.
Wait, Sting was on this show?
We'll fix it in the post.
You said what?
Sting was on your show? I'm kidding.
No, the sting that we just sang, Andy.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't remember what it was. What was it now?
line.
It's like our favorite lines. Now I get 2 takes. There you go.
Okay, nailed it. Thank you for giving me that. But okay. The next one that I really am wanting to talk to you about is the fluoride episode because you are like the before and like there's like a sexy man after or whatever.
Yeah, that was that was very. So that was they shot that commercial in this little park, and it was supposedly a commercial that Tom had written. And yeah, we were just on the park bench, and then they just swapped me out and just did a cut and a freeze and swapped me out. But so it wasn't real high, like didn't require a lot of special effects or anything like that. So, they didn't shoot me on green screen and then blend me in or something. But it was fun.
Did you have a line in that one? I don't remember. Did you say anything? I don't remember.
I honestly do not remember. Sorry.
I feel like you just made a face more so as you were holding the can, but I don't remember at this point. I just remember.
Now that I think about it, though, I think I might have had a testimonial thing about or said some sort of setup, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can we watch the replay on that?
Right.
Can you edit in the replay?
No, let's
edit
play it now.
Find out which of us has the better memory of it. Better memory of it. I'm making up words here.
That's
better
great.
memory.
Better remember.
I think we're making great memories together here.
Yeah. That's so special.
Our favorite memories.
Maddie, what about you?
Good.
Do you have any that spring to the top of your head?
Yeah, I definitely do. But it's from one of my favorite episodes that I've watched like millions of times. But I also have to say, because I'm thinking about this specific scene, it's pretty cool because your character kind of witnesses the love story of April and Andy, I feel like. Because almost every time April's coming by to say, hey, he's shining your shoes.
That's true. Good call.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a cool seat to be in.
Yeah.
Kyle was sort of a fly on the wall witness. I do that. I play the observer a lot, or the person who's like the point of view of the audience sometimes, and so that happens. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite episodes is the fight when snake juice is introduced, and everyone is like wasted on snake juice.
Okay.
And they come into work the next day, and April's trying to still be Janet Snakehole, and she comes up to Andy, and he's so hungover.
Right.
He's like, I love you, but like, I can't.
Oh, that's right.
And he sits back down to keep shining your shoes and just vomits.
Because he's like, he can't do it, and then he stands up because he actually does play back with her.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. I think I had a line before that too, where I said like, because he's like, they're trying to do the role play thing. I'm like, why would you have the same last name as whatever?
Right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And
but
even before that, you were saying something, and he's like, Kyle, can you please just shut up? Like, I can't right now. And April comes up. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I don't find a lot of vomit takes in shows hilarious, but I think it's just so unexpected, and it just happens.
Well, and they cut it so fast. The timing of when they cut it is key.
So this
right. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, like, when you said you witnessed a love story, I'm like, I was thinking about something else, which is when we did the hamburger tasting scene.
Oh yeah.
At the end of that scene, the next scene is Amy talking to Adam Scott, and they're like, meet me up on the second floor. And I was sitting right behind them when it happened. And so, like, the first take, I'm like, me too. like they want me to join them. It didn't make it in. But
oh my god!
That always amused me that happened. And Amy turns around and was like, "Shut up, Kyle."
I hope that's in the deleted scenes when we get to that episode. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've made any deleted scenes, but I love the idea of doing deleted scenes. Maybe we could do some deleted scenes for this.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll cut out some stuff.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I've already cut out a lot of it. No, I'm kidding.
Things like where you're like, you two are having a fight, and I'm trying to like calm you guys down. Like, okay, what's going on? No, it's not that important. Okay, we can do deleted scenes like that. You know, like.
I know. Well, see, then I feel like I would need to air the video of it so that actually people would understand it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But maybe not. Maybe not. Who's to say?
Hey, you're the director, or are you? Are you? This may be a stupid question, but who's the director here?
There isn't one.
Pretty much Holly.
It's non-existent. We are all in this together, as the High School Musical fame says.
Oh, gosh, yes.
But anyways, okay, so back to this vomit scene.
Yes, I want to know what, like, if he actually threw up on you, / what was it?
How come I have a memory of it being Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because that's what they poured on my shoe. I don't know if he'd been drinking Pepto-Bismol supposedly to like be calming his stomach, if that didn't read in what they were doing. But that's what was on my shoe, and probably what he spit up too. What's weird about that is he brought it with him. Like he had it in his mouth all the time. Like, can we start, please?
Oh,
no, I'm
gross.
kidding. That's a joke. That did not happen. That was a joke.
Okay.
Now you're going to edit out the part where that was a joke, and you'd be like, yeah, it's what he said.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
No, I remember that episode, or was it the same episode? But regardless, I remember that scene because like he's like, you already shined my shoes or whatever, or you only shined one of my shoes or something like this, and then he pours Pepto-Bismol and says, now I've done nothing.
Oh, you're right. That's what that was that. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of two different things. Maybe I'm cross-remembering.
Well, either way. But you do get to see them make out because she's like, leave. I want to make out with my wife right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing they always talk about is like, like just like Jerry was the whipping boy for everybody in the group. Like I was pretty much the whipping boy within that dynamic. So
I would love to see a side tangent.
A what?
You said what?
Yeah.
A side tangent? What sort of side?
Yeah, I would love to see a side tangent with you and Jerry. I feel like that would be a really fun, like, like The Office did the Accountants little miniseries.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a fun miniseries.
Yeah, they only ever tipped the hat of that with the burger scene when he tells me, he says I'm so pretentious and tells me to shut up. So,
Yeah, totally. Oh my god.
But I can totally see Kyle and Jerry getting together for like hot chocolate and just being like, dude, it's so hard. It's like I can't catch a break. Like, why does nobody like me?
Yeah, and then Jerry continues to go ahead and just berate Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny because like I knew Jim O'Hare not real well, but I knew him from auditions for like commercials and things, and would run into him from time to time, and actually Retta and I were in a commercial together. We did a Netflix commercial together where we both played security guards, like way back. And Retta tells the story that like it's like the only commercial she's ever done. Like she's only ever done one commercial, and then she's done a lot of TV. So
yeah. Oh, what a small world! Did you guys talk about that or did you get to even see her when you were filming Parks?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were at the table together in the burger scene. We saw each other a number of times.
Oh, that's right. My other favorite one that you've got is when Chris Pratt / Andy is trying really hard not to like share the secret that Leslie and Ben have, and then he shares your secret about the witness protection. Oh, or is it the wife cheating?
Yeah. It was,
I don't know.
It was that my wife left me or something.
Yeah, and you were like, not cool, man. How far in advance did you get those scenes?
I mean, usually, they were constantly filming, so we didn't always like if they did a table read. It was pretty rare if ever I was at the table read, and like most of my scenes were like very short. My days were great because I'd go in at like depending on the day, like 8 or 10 or something like that, and they'd put me in hair and makeup. I'm a character actor, so I don't require a lot of makeup, but they would like go over my hair and makeup and then bring me in, and my days were very lovely and short. It was great. In fact, I one time I was doing a play. It was called the movie version. Let me think of the name. I can't think of the name of it. It's a very famous movie. It was called The Fugitive Kind with Marlon Brando. But there was a movie of it, which was it was about small Western Texas. It was about race relations and stuff. It's really dark play. But anyway, I was doing that play, and I'd gone across the street to get some supper the night before, and I ate these ribs, and they were like super fatty, and and I didn't know it at the time, but I had a little bit. I had some like what's it called? Not kidney stones, gallstones, right? But like but like the little ones, not the big ones, but like the little ones. So like
but still bad.
They triggered it. And so the next day I go into and I'm working on Parks and Rec, and like I am like in excruciating pain, and I'm walking like an old man's one step. Fortunately, it was the one where Andy's band's practicing at the shoe shine stand, and so I'm sitting the entire time doing this thing while they're doing the practicing. And I think I say something like, hey, can I get my shoe shines? And he goes, shut up, Kyle. Pretty much go to. But anyway, I left there, went home, and then went to the hospital and found out what was going on. And they just took me to the drugs.
Oh my gosh!
But like it was fine after that. But it was like it's like I'm like I don't want to screw things up for anybody, but like it's really painful. So like.
Oh my God! I can't believe you worked through that.
Yeah, no, it was. I took one for the team.
Kyle just busting it out, doing what needs to be done, being the warrior hero that he is.
Warrior hero.
Well, did you have a favorite episode at all that you were in? I know we were speaking off
question.
One, but...
Or is it?
Andy,
it's not going to get old.
Answer it.
I have a favorite episode I was in.
I'm so glad you laughed at that. I feel like lots of guests would be like, can you like let me tell my joke?
Out of here. I'm out of here. I don't want to turn this off, but I'm out of here.
Andy is exiting the frame.
Where's that camera at? Do I have a favorite episode? Whoosh, man. Every time I went in, it was so much fun. Everybody was so nice. I I did like the hamburger scene a lot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a great one.
you know, I'll tell you one thing that was a lot of fun. Like, I is at least my memory. I hope my memory is correct on this. But at the very final scene where Amy comes in, like I ad-libbed a line at the end, and they kept it in, and I'm like, yes, I said something, and so that made me sort of happy. But
which one was it? Do you remember?
I don't. But
dang it! Okay, we'll just have to speculate wildly, as Joan says.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so, was that like during the fun run thing, or did you just do it, in the moment?
Remember, probably during the fun run. I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah. Or is it? See,
I sound like sort of a douche when I say like oh, that's a really great question, because that sounds really good. Like, it makes you look good, makes me look good. Like, I think it's a good question. You thought it was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think it's funnier, more fun, funnest. I don't know what
if we all say it,
grammar is.
When we get to the all or is it?
Or no, if you say that that's a really great question, and I or Maddie says, or is it? I think that makes it a little bit more of a teamwork moment, and then you come off looking great.
And if you two say it together, that's even better. Do we have a dry run question we can try this on?
Okay, well, I was going to ask if you had any fun memories or insights as to your favorite episode, if you had one, which it sounds like it's any time. But if you had to pick a favorite memory, what would it be?
That's a really great question.
Or is it?
We're having fun. The thing that comes to mind is
I feel like we're so high, but we're not.
We're really not.
I was there getting ready to shoot a scene, and I don't remember if I was actually in the scene or I came into the scene after the fact. But it's the scene where Chris Pratt, he for some reason he tanks. He falls in the office, and he had this physical ability to literally it's hard to demonstrate over Zoom, but like imagine you're standing up, your knees bend forward, but you fall backwards, and he could go down like that, and he did that, and they had him do so many takes that I'm like, come on, it's like this. So it's like, no matter how good you are, that's hard to do take after take. But it was like
all the Pratt falls by Pratt.
That's very true. It was definitely a Pratt fall. But it was a controlled pratfall, because like I said, his feet would stand still, his knees would go forward, and then he would fall back, sort of collapsing upon him.
That's crazy. I wonder if he had any sort of combat situation. Probably not. He probably just didn't give a shit. But
I don't know. I don't know. You could ask.
But anyways, yeah,
that would be a great question.
Well, one day.
Wait, was that the end of the? Or is it? Or would it be? Oh no, we're off the grammar moment. But wait, was that the end of that story? I kind of interrupted you.
Yes, it was a very short story.
Okay, so he fell, and that was one of the insights. Would you say that Chris Pratt was the one that you interacted the most? Probably either him or maybe Ron. But I was just wondering if you had any.
You mean within the show? No, I like everybody's great at the show. I think I ended up doing scenes with almost everybody within it, and everybody's very friendly. We all chatted a bit when I would come in, and they'd ask me how it was going, and of course they were there every day, and it's such nice people. Like I've been on sets that are warm and sets that are less warm, and this was definitely a very, very warm set. I mean, actually, most of the sets I've been on. There's only one set I was ever on that wasn't that great, but that was because they were having some issues with other things, but everybody on the show was super nice and super, super, super nice.
Super nice. Well, good. Did you get to touch base or talk to Amy Poehler at all? / what do you have to say about her? Because I'm always interested in anyone's side conversations or interactions.
She is such a high class lady and so super, super nice. She's not. It's a characterization for the character, but she is super, very, very, very nice and smart, wicked smart. Like you would say in college. Did you have to learn that when you're in college? Did you have to learn to say wicked smart? They have a class.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Boston dialogue classes that we had to take the first 4 semesters. Like Wicked Pissa, that kind of thing. We actually had to take a field trip to Southie. It was nuts.
Yeah. They also make sure that you can sing with the accent.
Now, are you guys fans of Boston 9-9?
What's Boston? You mean
What is-
Brooklyn
Oh,
Nine-Nine?
I'm sorry, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Sorry.
I was like, half
Wait
of
a
that
second,
sounds
did
familiar.
I miss the show?
Oh, I was trying to do a tie into Boston, but anyway. But there was another show about schools called Boston Public, right? Yeah, and then there were Boston Commons. There were a lot of Boston shows.
Yeah, there really are.
None were shot there, but lots of Boston shows.
Which is dumb because it's so beautiful.
I know. All of Mark Wahlberg's. How do you say that with the Boston accent?
Mark
Wahlberg. Bug.
Oh my!
I don't know. Anyways, I can't. I'm not going to. But all of his shows and what's his name? Ben Affleck shows are shot there. And I say shows, but I mean movies.
I saw the greatest.
They do.
I saw the greatest meme the other day, which you might appreciate, and it was what do you call these? And it was a pair of khakis, like pants, khakis, and but in Boston, khakis are these, and there's the car keys.
Car keys, yes,
Where's
I've
your khakis?
seen that.
Where's your khakis?
Oh my God.
That's so good.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. That's one of my favorite commercials that came out in the last couple of years is they brought Chris Evans. Was it John Krasinski?
Oh yeah,
Rachel Dratch all together to do the it's a self park, like the car self parks itself, and so they all say self park.
Yeah, and they see each other from
and that's
across the street, and they're yelling at each other.
Yeah,
look at this car.
And then Big Poppy comes out, and he's all about it too. That was a great
Think
commercial.
you're better than me?
No, what?
Great stuff.
Do you think you're better than me? What a great question, or is it?
Well, I feel like that's such a Boston thing. You know what I mean? Like, you think you're better than me? You got a self-parking car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about them apples?
But anyways, I was going to ask
Yes.
also, do you have a character that you resonate the most with? Because obviously, well, not obviously, but the podcast listeners know that I resonate the most with Leslie, I feel, and Maddie is an Anne, and that is one of the reasons why our relationship works. And so I'm very intrigued as to, if you've got one.
Boy.
And it can't be yourself. It can't be Kyle.
That's a really good question.
Or is it?
Oh.
I mean, I think in some ways, I sort of get Jerry.
Yeah.
But I love the dumbness of Chris Pratt's character. It's just it's just so lovely. So that's great.
He's like a little puppy.
He is so
Like, you love him,
innocent.
but
Adam
it's like,
Scott was very dry
dude.
too, and very, very funny. And of course Ron Swanson.
Yeah. I think that's really, you know what? That's something interesting as you're saying it, that you kind of got to be a guest star in, well, I guess Mel did too, but Mel Cowan, who plays the red-faced man. But, you got to be with both Mark and the original cast or whatever. And you also got to be with the new guys, Adam Scott and Rob Lowe, in the other ones, which I think not many guest stars did. A lot of the guest stars that we're really familiar with, I feel, interacted with only one, you know what I mean? Yes, Joan and Perd and all them were in there, but they didn't really have a lot of interactions with Mark or Adam Scott. It was either one or the other. So I really like that. That's cool.
It's you were talking about Rob Lowe, and
Yeah.
he was a lot of fun to work with too. He's
Really?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about him? Say everything.
He's just incredibly focused, and then very,
Really?
very funny and very light and very, very serious, but very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. How was Chris Pratt super different, off screen, or was he? I feel like he's kind of similar to Andy.
He's a big fluffy dog. He's
Aw.
super nice, super sweet, super kind. Yeah. It was funny because when I remember watching the pilot, and he was very, I feel underutilized in the pilot. You don't really see who he is into the character he develops into. Sort of like Star Trek: The Next Generation, the first year, the first year they're all a little bit stilted, and then it takes off but I don't think they really knew what they had in him, and he really flourished in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. He was only supposed to be there for 6 episodes. He was only supposed to be there for the first season. And then the audience and the producers loved him so much that they decided to keep him in and write him in. Because, like, he was just supposed to end when him and Anne broke up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
what happens, you know? And then they're really good about that. I mean, even, like, with my character and a lot of the smaller characters, they're like, hey, this is the world we live in. Let's bring these people back. And Adam Scott used to refer to it as, like, the show had a very deep bench of comedic actors and comedic players.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, when you were playing, like, speaking of character development, and I know that your role technically didn't have a lot of lines, but, like, once you saw that you were coming back quite a bit, did you have any sort of, like, backstory that you gave Kyle, or any sort of, like,
well, it's funny because actually there actually was originally a backstory. Like, I actually had a title, and honestly, now I don't remember. I'd have to look up, see if I could even find it anywhere. But like I actually had a city job and had a title, which was very different from what I was doing at the end. Whereas, like,
oh, okay.
I was like, I think, oh, you know what it was? I think I was like with the water and power department.
Oh, that's such a fascinating thing. That's a fascinating detail.
That just sort of went away. Yeah. and they were toying with things all the time, and they had ideas that, like, you know, here's the deepest dive one. It's like they talked about. I don't know if I should share this. I guess that's right. But, like, they're talking about how it's like they thought it'd be really funny if they had some sort of reveal at the end that the reason I was coming to the shoe shine all the time was because like Chris Pratt his character was actually my son, and, like, I was always trying to reconnect with him, you know, but.
Oh, that would have been so dope!
Oh my gosh!
So I think Chris Pratt was the one who told me. It's like they were talking about, like, putting up, like, some sort of picture, like on the wall of like him and I as younger or something like that, or just some. But that never happened. But it was something they joked about doing. I'm sure they always.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just, like, picturing it now. That would have been awesome. But I understand maybe, like, why they didn't do it. But at the same time, like, I would have. Yeah, I definitely sensed some sort of deeper thing between Kyle and Andy. Like,
well, I think the deeper thing was simply that, like Kyle's just this guy who has no life, you know. It's like,
yeah.
My best friend shines shoes, you know. Like he doesn't know he's his best friend, but, like, it's like.
And we've only said, like, one sentence to each other.
I would love to know if Kyle was getting his shoes shined as often when old Gus was the one running in the stand.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Probably not.
Could have been a habit, you know, like.
Yeah, I would like to imagine this story of, like, you know, following through on what you're saying, like, piggybacking, is that, like, when he saw that Chris Pratt or Andy was there, he was like, oh my God, that's my son.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I like it.
I love that.
Or maybe Kyle and Andy are just having some really deep conversations with each other when they're off camera, and they have this really great friendship. And whenever anybody's around, like, Andy's like, no, I can't be friends with you now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ben with Jerry, right? Ben starts to like Jerry.
But then it turns on whenever he's, like, around other people. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did you get to interact at all with Mike Schur? Were they ever on, or Greg Daniels, like, were they ever on set while you were there?
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of times they were there as either as writers or as directors, or, you know, and so yeah. I remember, I can't remember what happened, but I remember one Thanksgiving they had a little dinner after the shoot. It was like they're like right before Thanksgiving. And I think it was Morgan one of the producers, Morgan, came up to me and he told me something that was going to go on, you know, in the future, or that they kept coming back. And I'm like, they said, like, he said something like, I hope you don't mind that we brought you back to, like, you know, to pick on you or whatever. I'm like, hey, you can pick on me all you want. It's fine.
Yeah, totally.
So,
of course. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we always talk about that they do such a good job of, is, like, bringing back the same people to really build this, you know, community/town of Pawnee. You know what I mean? It's so lovely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of surprised, or maybe they did this intentionally, but I'm kind of surprised that you weren't really any, like, town hall meetings. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you could have been in there saying something or doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had their little box for me, probably. So you're in Nashville, right? Is that what you said? Nashville?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been?
Well, I'm originally from Ohio, so north of there. I've been to Knoxville. I mean, I've probably driven through Nashville, but I've never actually been. No, I've never been to Nashville. I can say that.
Okay. Yeah, Knoxville's cool too. But Nashville's better.
And so you sing and do commercials and.
Yeah, I actually just shot a commercial in Knoxville, which was really fun. Because they're doing a lot of
in
stuff.
Knoxville.
But yeah, in Knoxville, yeah. They have like a lot of things headquartered there, which I didn't know. Like they do a lot of Discovery Channel stuff and HGTV, and they also do a lot of those Oxygen like reenactment situations, like when a murderer killed a young lady and you have to like reenact that kind of thing. They're doing all that stuff. But yeah, so that's what and then I do music here, as much as I could have done probably, but I didn't do a lot last year, obviously, because of COVID.
So the year I was in Knoxville, I was there. Actually, I was still a child. I'm not sure how much of a child. I was like a teenager, a young teen, but we went there they had the World's Fair in Knoxville. In fact, they still have the giant big globe ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super famous there.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know what that was there for. I didn't know that was there for the World's Fair.
The World's Fair
so cool.
in Knoxville in
That's cool.
80s, something in the 80s, 80 or 84 maybe, something like that. I'd have to look it up.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
I gotta ask Siri. Hey, Siri.
Really, though. Did you start acting in Ohio then?
I started acting in high school, and then I studied acting in college, and that was my major. And right after college, I did an outdoor drama, Trail of Tears, in Oklahoma, and then I went and did touring children's theater in Youngstown, Ohio. And then after that, my car broke down. I ended up going back to my hometown. And for about 8 years, I lived the small town life and worked for a couple different companies, and then ended up getting married and having a kid. And then I got divorced and moved to Seattle for a company. And then I was studying screenwriting in Seattle for a little bit while I was there working. And then one day I went down to a conference they had in here in Los Angeles, Santa Monica. It was called the Words into Pictures Conference. And like, I got to hear like all these amazing people that were in the industry, actors who were also writers and writers speak. And I was just so turned on by that. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. So but I didn't move down here till I was in my 30s. So I'm a late bloomer. And I have been in most things in my life.
That though. Well, yeah.
You reject that?
Nowadays, yeah, I do, because
I stand corrected.
In the nicest way possible, sir. No, not you particularly, but the phrase late bloomer, I am now a little bit like rejecting, because I just feel like nowadays, and I mean any day really, but nowadays I feel like there was an awareness now that is not so much of when you do it, but just like doing it in general, And so I feel like that late bloomer thing always brings a certain amount of shame to some people when they say it, and maybe that's not your story, but like sometimes when people say that, it's like, I should have done this earlier, I should have or most people did this earlier, but I did it later. So I just think anytime you start something new is the time that you need to do it, and that's great.
I've never regretted like waiting to come here, but like I have often wondered, I'm like, I wonder if it'd be any different, and probably not. But
sometimes it's better, honestly, because then you can not be so formed by LA that you already have kind of a stronger stance in who you are.
I think the advantage for me was that like I'd already done other stuff, and so when I moved here, it's like people who were young, they would come here and then go off and do other things. Like for me, it's like well, I've done other things, I'm here. So
yeah, that's true.
I've been probably more patient than maybe I should be, or than most people, or some people.
Yeah. Well, did you do theater when you first moved there, or was it the screenwriting that you were pursuing?
No, it's funny because like I always wanted to write to serve my acting, so I was not really pursuing writing at all. But I write sketches and I have written. I've written one movie. I've got one movie. I'll do another plug. There's a movie on YouTube. It's called The Lemke Brothers, Lempke, The Lemke Brothers, and it was actually based off two of my friends that were doing improv, and they did the sketch bit. Sorry,
the sketch bitch. Fan name, I
that
call
was
it.
totally a slip of the lip.
Sketch team.
So, although it might have been a Freudian slip, I don't know. But anyway,
Slip of the lip.
they did this. They did this bit where they would come out as these two professional dancers, and the one guy was super big, super heavy, and the other one was actually a professional dancer, really strong. And they would come out and they would poorly reenact like a dance to some classical music, and it was so funny because they took it so serious. And so I wrote a movie based on it about these two brothers who came from Russia to America to pursue they had to escape communist Russia and come to America to pursue art, and they were just horrible at it, But it's one of my delights in life. We made it about 10 years ago. It's called The Lemke Brothers, and you can find it.
Okay.
You can find it just on regular YouTube. It's not even on anything streaming or anything like that. But it was my passion for a while to do that movie, and so we did it. And it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I'll definitely link that in the show notes so that people can look if they want to. For sure.
Yeah, our sketch group's still watching.us and The Lemke Brothers on YouTube. Whatever.
Well, and so how long into being in LA did you get the call for Parks and Rec, or the audition, I should say? Like, was that through your agent that you had found once you moved out?
It was through my agent, yeah. When I first moved here, I think I was doing extra work, and then I decided to get a night job because I'd be more convenient if I had work or whatever. And so I started working for this company doing. My title was alarmist. I was like the person who would sit behind the thing and like call people like, "Hey, you've got a door open" or whatever. And I was horrible at this job because I always wanted to fall asleep. I can stay up late, but I'm like.
You mean like at a security thing, like a Ring or ADT kind of situation?
It was for securing the building, not for security. It was like to make sure things were like shut tight, and like
interesting
access to the building, like people would come in to like deliver stuff at nighttime, newspapers or whatever, whatever they had to deliver, or the housekeeping or coming in or leaving or whatever. So anyway, it was that was my night job, and while I was there. At the time, I don't know if you would know about this, Holly, but they're one of the earlier online services. And this is I moved here in 97, so this probably was around 97 or 98. They had a company called CastNet. It was one of the first online things. And on this site, you could actually send emails, but through the system to different agents. And so I sent them out. And I remember my agent, who's a Circle Talent who I've been with forever, I sent them a message, but my computer was down, and so I didn't see the message that she replied to me for about a week, and I'm like, no. But anyway, I signed with them, and I've been with them for a long time. I've had a couple of managers since then, but they're great, and they're mostly commercial. But that was at the beginning. That's what I was doing, is mostly commercials. So
okay, and how long were you in LA before you got Parks?
Well, I was in the second season of Parks, and so do we know what year Parks started?
It was
2009.
In 2010, I think that was filmed. That yours was filmed.
Oh,
anyway.
Then it was wild. But I mean, I did a lot of stuff before that too. But
yeah,
it was 2009 or 2010. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask if was that your first theatrical thing that you did, or bigger, I guess, bigger network show that you were on, or was that?
No. You can look me up at Andy Forrest at iMDB.com. Forrest with 2 R's. I can honestly don't remember the first ones I did was I did a bit on Judging Amy, and I did a lot of shows. They're all listed there, and I honestly don't remember all of them right now.
That's awesome. Well, it's funny because we didn't know that Parks was going to be as big as it was, probably, or that you'd be invited back so many times. So that's it's as we're talking to people, it's really interesting because they're just going in for the next audition, not thinking really anything of it.
But that's happened a couple times. I there was a show. It didn't last more than a season. It was called The Nine, and I started out as one of the people at the what's it called? A bachelor party.
Okay.
For a very famous actor whose name is escaping me at the moment. But anyway, and then there are a couple of great actors in there. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names sometimes.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
But then they ended up having a poker night like in the show, and so I ended up being one of the poker night guys. So that was a lot of fun.
That's great when that happens.
Working with some really fun actors there. So I was on like 3 episodes of that show. And,
yeah, that's awesome. Well, so you think that you resonate the most with Jim O'Heir, and so that is was my like pressing question, I feel. And you got to work with him, which I feel like makes it all the better. And now we know that you used to work for the electric or in water or whatever the hell in Pawnee, which I think is one of the biggest nuggets that I got.
That was the original intention. That went away, but yeah.
I know. I wonder if they would have shown you working in your office. That would have been hilarious. Well, Maddie, did you have any other questions that I didn't get to?
That was my big question. Was I wanted to know, do we know what Kyle's job is?
Yeah.
Like, because he spends so much time at the shoe shine stand, does he have that big of a to-do list? Do we know?
Well, in the final episode, you see me working in the same office as the elderly lady who was very sweet.
Oh, that's right.
So we think it was some form of. I originally thought I was like more of an accountant, but I think I might have been more of a legal thing. Or legal accounting.
So I can see that.
Or an illegal accountant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who's to say? Was that cool? Did you get to interact with that older lady? I love her.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're in the scene together. Yeah. She's very, very sweet. I've been around here for a while now. And even though I came later, it's like, you would do like classes and things, and you meet a lot of character actors and when you go to an audition, as you'll see a lot of people that are similar or in the same category with you at least. So you meet a lot of people over time.
Yeah.
But really, like, improv for me was the way I made most of my friends early on. It's like
totally,
because like improv people have a great sense of humor. What's that?
Yeah, and you get to like become family. I feel with them because you get to be on stage with them so much.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Well, you got to be so comfortable together, right?
Yeah.
To trust each other in improv and to be able to work together like that. So
yeah. Have you seen anyone from the show like after it stopped airing?
Well, they actually did a couple of years ago. They did like a 10-year anniversary of the show, and
for the
and they would have
thing.
they would have rap parties at the end of each season. But then they did this reunion thing, and so I went to that and got to say hi to.
Fun.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you get to see everybody and reminisce?
I did. I got to see. Most people were there. I mean, some people couldn't make it, but they'd actually done a Paley Fest. I don't know if you know what that is, but like,
sure,
they did a Paley Fest show that evening, and then they had this party after that. So I came. I didn't go to the Paley Fest, but I went to that, and they said, "Hey, we talked about you at the."
So fun!
I'm like, oh, cool. They
I know.
That's where they said that I was the whipping boy for Andy.
Right.
And that's actually funny too. Like, so his character's name was Andy. My name's Andy. So like I do remember the very first rehearsal we did the take, and I said I was supposed to say hi, hey Andy, and I think I said hey Kyle to him because like my name. They immediately corrected me on that. I'm like, oh, sorry about that.
I know. That's something I mentioned, I think, when we first see you. I can't remember which episode it was, but it was the one right before the setup. And I was like, how funny is that Andy is... there's 2 Andys involved in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, are you doing anything right now? Like promoting anything right now?
I wish I were. I'm actually... I've like I said, I was doing that sketch comedy show right before the pandemic, and that sort of like shut that down. And I'm looking for my next thing. I just shot I shot like a short. Actually, I just did a episode. This was cool. It's like the smallest part you could ever get as an actor is like a non-speaking role. Well, I got a non-speaking role on Young Sheldon. But
fun!
But the cool thing about it is my non-speaking role is in a scene with Wallace Shawn. So I got to work with Wallace Shawn for a day, and that was very cool. So
fun, so cool. What's the sketch group called again?
The sketch group is called stillwatching.us is the link. Stillwatching.us.
Okay, great.
.us.
And then Maddie, you were going to say something else when we were talking about 2 Andys.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, because I think we do ask almost everybody this as well, is like, were you watching Parks and Rec at the same time, or did you kind of just acted in it and then let it be in the background?
No, I watched it. I watched it.
Yeah.
I think later on I got busy and doing other stuff, and I wasn't able to like catch up all the time. But I eventually would go back and watch them. I mean, back then I think maybe I had TiVo at that time, and so like
I know
could catch stuff, but like sometimes if you don't catch it live, you missed it. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking
100%.
about that. You know, for actors nowadays, it's easy. Like if you get an audition for a show to just go on any of the streaming services or Amazon or whatever and just like do your research and, you know, make sure you're up to speed on what, you know, you're reading or what the tone of the show is. But, you know, you didn't really have that option, I feel, back in the day, unless you knew maybe the producers and like what their tone was. But other than that, you just kind of went in and did it, right?
Yeah. Now, question. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a follow-up?
No.
It was a yes.
No, I was
question.
just laughing.
So you studied acting at Boston?
No, we did music at Berkeley, and then I moved to LA after I graduated. And
are you doing music together now?
Not together. We did, but not together since we're so far away. It's hard to do.
So I saw you.
But Maddie's still doing music.
I was gonna say, but Holly, you have a song on your website, right? Or was that Maddie's song?
That's I mean, we both have music. But yeah, I released a record in 2019, and Maddie released one. How many? I don't know how many years that was.
2014.
Did you release your record on Pandemic Records? So Maddie, you had a record in 2014.
2014, I wrote all the songs within 3 or 4 months of each other, and I put a band together, and we recorded it at school.
Oh, nice.
And then I sold it and gave all the proceeds to my favorite baseball player, Anthony Rizzo. He has a cancer foundation because he survived cancer.
Oh, that's very big of you. That's great.
Very noble.
Oh no, I was a super fan of him, and I'm like, listen, I know I'm a college student, but like I don't need this as much as these families do, so it made sense to me. But it was a really cool experience, like running that, right, Holly? I mean, putting a band together, working on the like, how many instruments do I want? Do I want to layer them, or do I want them all live?
It's nuts.
Now I'm wondering if you're like
all that
if you're going to be like specializing in fundraising music, like you're going to be the new We Are the World writer.
Look, you need someone to plan that shit. That's a lot of stuff, moving parts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I would be down because I'd still be able to help people, but I wouldn't be as stressed as I am right now. So
Why are you so stressed right now? What's going on? I think we need to.
So we both went to Berkeley, but I graduated with a music therapy degree, and so I work with kids on the spectrum and their families and whatnot. And the new job I have, it also includes kids who have been taken from their families by DCS and all this stuff as well. So it's just a heavy job. I really like helping the kiddos and the families, but it's a little bit more stressful than
Takes a lot of brain space.
I would like it to be. Yeah, it takes up a lot of space. Yeah.
I understand. I have a daughter and I have 2 grandchildren, and my grandson has autism. So
Yeah. That's awesome. I have like my heart. I love all those kids, and I was going to tell you about this, Holly. I don't know if you guys know, there's this TV show on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I haven't watched it, but I saw.
I've heard of it.
My heart. So it's like all these young adults in Australia who are on the spectrum, and these people are getting them ready to go out on their first dates and like finding love, and that you can find love, and it doesn't have to be with someone else on the spectrum, but it can be. And it's really cool because all those kiddos and all those people are just so special, and you know, their brains just function a little bit differently, but it doesn't mean they can't have the same things we have. So I love it. You guys should watch it. It's amazing. It makes my heart so happy.
Good.
Well, Maddie, it sounds like you're doing amazing, great work, and you're very charitable, and that's wonderful. I'm glad. I wish there were more people like you in the world. I wish Holly were more like you.
Appreciate it.
I know. All we do is make fart jokes on sketch stages.
Hey, we need actors too, because you know what gets me through the day is The Office and Parks and Rec and New Girl. So
yes, okay. I will take that as my role in this world to bring light and entertainment to the darkness.
Good one, yeah. I like that. Bring light and laughter.
always been, I always think that. I mean, I joke about it, but I do believe that we all serve a role. And, you know, if there's only darkness and only stress and nothing to relieve that stress, like TV shows or music or art, then there's really nothing left, you know? So, but yay. Well, Andy, we thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
It was so much fun.
Call me back when I have another movie to pitch or something. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. You let us know. You've got my email, my phone number. Let me know, and then I can just post it on our Instagram or our show notes of whatever show's coming out. But thank you so much. Your delight and joy.
Good luck with your show and your careers and everything, and your music, and your fundraising, and you two are wonderful. Love you all.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Yay!
Oh, he's awesome.
He's so lovely.
Yeah, he's got such a great personality, and I feel like I felt so comfortable being kind of weird and like doing stuff with. It was really cool.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. I know, it's so funny because that when he was first doing his jokes, I was like, okay, listen, I need to ask my question and I need the answer immediately. So I'm so glad that we could joke around though, because we have the same sensibilities though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt
he made it fun. It's great.
Totally. I also really felt like the that's a good question, or was like a that's what she said situation. Like it was which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
But I love how down to earth he was and how like open he was to telling us stories. He seemed so chill and so like calm, you know?
Yeah, he seems like a guy you would go and just hang out and have coffee with.
Yeah, I definitely also feel like I could review a show with him. Like if he ever wanted to come on the show and just like hang out with us as we review it.
I almost suggested that. I almost was like, well, we'll find the next Kyle episode and have you come on.
Okay.
Because that would be cool.
Well, I'll text him after this, as I always do, to thank our guests and tell him, you know, the next Kyle episode we have, I will gladly have him either on or accept voice memos or whatever he wants to do, because that was really cool.
Yeah.
But
it was very cool. He's so fun.
He is, and I'm so glad that he messaged me back. I do have to thank, I I'll tell him this after. I don't know who I messaged to get his information. I think it was one of his managers, I want to say. I don't know, but either way, it wasn't like I didn't have his email directly. I emailed somebody on his team, and they forwarded it, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, so I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yay. I feel like there was like some housekeeping that I was going to talk about, but it's all just blanking at this point. So anyway, well, the next episode is Leslie's house. So that's going to be really
Lord
fun.
in heaven.
Oh my gosh. He is in that one. Kyle's in that one. That's the one where he sits
nice.
On the polish and gets polish on his on his pants because it's on the scene.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's awesome. I'm excited about it. I was going to say, because when I was listening to the setup, I was thinking, Sean and I were talking about how there's a time when Justin gets annoying. And I think it's this episode. Yeah,
there is a bit of a, like, Andy even has that, like, talking head where I don't think it's just him. I think the audience is also feeling it of, like, here's this thing from Africa with the King of England.
Yeah. So. No, and it gets super annoying. And I think when I watched this episode the first time, I literally sat back and had a self-awareness moment. And I was like, I really fucking hope that I don't say, well, in China.
No!
All that many times, because like there's a point where it's like, cool, I want to know about your culture, and then there's a point where it's like, okay, calm down, we understand.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that it's, you know, there's a balance, because I'm always happy to hear about people's you know, travels and things that they learned in cultures and things like that, but it just depends on how you say it as well, and maybe you're right of how often you say it. Now I don't know, maybe the first time I watched it I was like more like annoyed, but the past times that I've watched it, I've just been like, whatever, he just is what it is. I haven't been as annoyed with it, but I see what you guys are saying for sure. But we will dive in so deep when we review that episode. But maybe no, we already talked about it. I was gonna say maybe I'll get him to come on and review that, but we already mentioned his part in that episode
Yeah.
or in our.
We can find the
interview.
next one.
Yeah, I mean, he's in 16 episodes. It's nuts. I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to have him, hopefully he'll still be responsive by the time we get to Fluoride, because that truly is one of my favorites.
He's good.
My favorite thing about him, though, is that he, like he said, he plays deadpan so well.
He's so
like,
well.
that's my favorite thing, where, like, he just sits there and it's funny, especially because the writing around him is so lovely and perfect. And then when he actually does show, like, emotion of, like, come on, man, not cool, about his wife cheating or whatever, it's just, like, makes it that much funnier. And you're just like, oh my
it really
God,
does.
where did that come from?
Yeah, it's great. I
So.
love it. I've always loved him, and I told Ivan, I was like, we're gonna interview Kyle on Friday, and he was like, Kyle, and I was like, the guy that Andy shines his shoes all the time, and he goes, I love Kyle.
Everyone loves Kyle.
Yeah, how can you not? It's kind of like Jerry, where you're just like, I love you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Even though you're not my favorite character, I love you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay, well, thank you all for listening. If you've listened thus far, we appreciate you very much. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all those things. And then if you have someone that you would like us to get on the show, please tell us. Although, I don't know that any of our guests could tell us someone they want on the show as like, how do I phrase this? I want them on the show as much as they want them on the show. And I'm contacting people that like would never in a million years think that they would talk about their role on Parks and Rec again. So I really don't, I think I got our fans covered.
No, you 100% do.
So-
and I've have it on my list to reach out to Ben Schwartz as well.
Yay!
Like from my personal account, because I'm like, he's someone that's like top tier enough that he might look over us, but if enough of us are messaging him,
Absolutely.
he might, because he hasn't always been huge.
Right.
Right? Like he's still kind of at that like my name's known, but I'm not like a blow up star yet.
Yeah, he's
type
big in the
person.
comedy world though, because he has so many comedy shows that like a lot of comedy sketch shows are filmed, but they're not like on streaming services, or that the morning show that Mel Cowan was on, like is on YouTube. It's not really, or like Funny or Die. You know what I mean? Like you can be Funny or Die famous essentially, and I think that's kind of what he was before. But now people are actually catching on. Hopefully, well, not now. People slept on him much like they slept on Catherine Hahn, but we'll have a whole Ben Schwartz podcast appreciation moment.
Yes, we should totally, what we should do? We should totally do that. We should have episodes of the podcast where we're appreciating the best moments of some of the best characters.
Yeah.
And we can each pick each other's, like, we can pick our favorite scenes or our favorite lines and voice record them and then just go through them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm on it.
But yeah, so that's it. We'll see you next week or whenever we see you. Hope you all have a lovely, let's see, by the time this airs, what will have happened?
Halloween.
Yes, hope you have have had a great Halloween and that you all stayed safe and that you're making plans for Thanksgiving, which is insane that that's coming up soon. So
Please tag us if you dressed up as any Parks and Rec or Office characters. 'Cause
Yeah.
that'd be great. I want to see it.
I want to see it too. All right, guys, thanks so much, and we hope you have a lovely time wherever you are, and we appreciate you, and see you later.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.